What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast, where your purpose is just moments away, and I am here to help you get there. What's up, guys? So, it's another week, and it means it's time for another episode. So, quick question. Is anybody feeling like they're allergic to the air, to the things that's going on in society? But most importantly, do you feel that you are allergic to your purpose? Think about it. Every time your purpose comes at you, you start to sneeze, your throat start to itch, your nose start to running, and you're like, what is going on? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I doing that? It's because you are acting allergic. Okay? Think about it. Every time God grants you a little piece of your purpose or a little piece of peace, you start to pull back as if He's giving you like a bad cold or something, like He's giving you a bad rash. But only thing that He's doing is just making sure that you are doing what you said that you wanted to do, right? You're surrendering and saying, okay, God, I'm going to give it all to you. I'm going to pursue my purpose. And then you start to act funny when He gives it to you. Listen, all of us go through that. But my question to you is, but are you allergic to the strength that your purpose gives you? Are you allergic to the peace that your purpose gives you? Are you allergic to the greatness that comes with your purpose? I'll wait. Take a second to answer those questions. Give me a minute. I'll give you a second. The answer is yes. Okay? Most of us are so scared. Sorry about that, guys. I do have a toddler. Please forgive me if you hear him in the background. Some of us are so afraid that if we decide to wipe our nose, we decide to go get some medicine, which is that God-given medicine, right? We go get that stuff and we get into it, our purpose is going to be bigger than what we ever imagined, right? Our purpose is going to give us some real act right because it's what you've been asking for. I feel like we get so scared when it comes to the fact that God is really giving you what you want and you're questioning it. Why are you questioning what God said that He was going to give to you? Why are you questioning your gift, right? Do you ever feel like you are in those moments where you don't feel like you're good enough? You don't feel like you're doing enough? You don't feel like your purpose is reaching who it's supposed to reach? But newsflash, it is. Your purpose is meant to be spread to the masses, but it has to start somewhere, right? It has to start somewhere, right? It has to start as small, right? As small as a mustard seed to get you to your flower or to your harvest or to your crops. It has to start somewhere. So don't be afraid to start small. And then when you start expanding, right, you start getting up to those big places and those big people, you start to question yourself. My advice for you this week, or my motivation for you this week, is to go after, even if you're allergic. Even if it causes you to have a little rash, even if it causes you to get a little headache, or causes you to get, a little nose runny, go after it, right? Because we all know that once we decide to stop being hard-headed and we decide to listen and we decide to allow God to guide us, we all know that greatness is on the other side, right? So think of your purpose as this. If you find yourself in those moments where you start to get allergic, right? Where you start to, like I said, you question yourself. You start to get those feelings. Like, am I good enough? Am I great enough? Is it gonna touch the right people? Is it gonna put me in the right rooms? The answers to all those questions are yes. But you have to be willing to take a step back, allow God to guide you, and you keep moving, right? Go get that medicine. Go get that Benadryl. Go get that Claritin. Go get whatever you need to get to make sure that you are front and center when God calls you. And I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I tell it all the time. I have always been in this space where I feel like, well, God, am I doing enough? God, am I going down the right path? God, why are things happening for everybody else and they're not happening for me? And it's more or less, for one, are you ready for those things? If God was to give you those things right now, I'm talking to myself, right? If God was to give you those things right now, would you be ready for it? Probably not. I ain't even gonna fret, but it would be nice to have, right? It would be nice to say, like, hey, God, thank you for the opportunity, but nowhere down the line were you prepared for the opportunity, right? But think about it as your purpose is all about your growth, right? And if you're not willing to grow in your purpose, and you're not willing to get a little dirty, you're not willing to, like I said, make your nose run, your eyes water, if you're not ready for that, that's okay. But if you are ready for that, take everything that you have been given and go for it. If God is telling you to wait, then wait. If God is telling you you need to go contact this person and you need to go reach out to this person, then do it. Stop wondering, well, God, why is that happening for me? And He gave you the tools to get it done. He gave you the medicine to take that's going to help you get over your allergic reaction. Right? And then y'all know us, especially for us that don't like going to work now. We try to combat that sickness as much as we can. We try to keep going. See, y'all, my nose is stuffing now. We try to keep going for the fact, excuse me, guys. 1 second. Ooh. So sorry about that. We try to stay sick as long as we can, right? But that's how you guys are when it comes to your purpose. You try to keep going the other way as long as you can until you have to run dead slap into it. You can't go left, you can't go right. All you can do is face it head on. But that's what I want you to do. I want you to face your purpose head on. Stop acting scared. Stop acting like you're running out of time, because you still got time. Stop acting like you have to do everything right then and there, when you probably aren't called to do it right then and there. What if you're called to do it 6 months from now, 7 months from now? What if you're called to do it next year? You know what I'm saying? Stop acting like your purpose is going to leave you behind. Now, I will say, you are going to regret not doing what God called you to do. You are going to regret the simple fact is that, God, you gave me the chance and I brushed off like it was nothing, right? I don't ever want you guys to look over your life and you be like, well, dang, shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? And like people say, it's never too late. But by the time you decide that you want to go and pursue your purpose, somebody's probably already done it times 10 because they were obedient. And the same blessings and the same opportunities and the same doors that He wanted you to walk through, now somebody else is walking through them, right? And I feel like we look at society and we look at, these entrepreneurs, or we look at these leaders, or we look at these, more importantly, just important people in the world, and we're like, well, how did they get here? I'm doing the same thing. How did they get here? Because they weren't afraid. They weren't afraid to take that leap of faith. They weren't afraid to say, okay, God, I hear you. I'm going to do it. They weren't scared to get a little dirty. They weren't scared to have an allergic reaction. And that's what I'm saying. Stop putting this on yourself, these high expectations, when you know that you're not there yet, right? When you know that you're not there mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You start to wear yourself down, and it causes you to have a reaction. It causes you to become overwhelmed because you're not ready, right? I am a firm believer in that God will release you when He's ready to release you, right? But you have to be willing to accept the calling when He releases you. You can't sit here and be eating chicken noodle soup, drinking your NyQuil forever. it's gonna be a time where he's gonna call on you, and he gonna need you to get well and ready to answer your calling, to answer your purpose. Okay, this is my motivational pep talk to y'all this week. Stop being allergic. Stop being allergic. Stop being allergic to your greatness. Stop being allergic to your peace. Stop being allergic to your breakthrough. Stop being allergic to your blessings, okay? Because you telling God that you don't want to pursue your purpose right now is just your way of saying, well, God, I don't want you to bless me right now. God, I don't need no breakthrough right now. God, I don't need no emotional help right now. That's pretty much what you're telling him. That's pretty much what you're saying. But I'm here to tell you that, is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be hard? Yes. But purpose is going to be one of the greatest walks that you're ever going to have in life, right? Your walk with God is going to be one of the greatest walks you'll ever have in life, right? But you have to believe in yourself enough to know that I am called to do X, Y, and Z, and I want to carry out X, Y, and Z, right? Because the saying is, if it's in you, it's in you. It's in you for a reason. It's going to come out when God is ready for it to come out. But you continue to hone in on your gift. You continue to groom. You continue to grind until God is ready to call you forth. So stop being allergic and just put in the work. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Stop being allergic and just put in the work. Stop making excuses. Stop saying shoulda, coulda, woulda. Stop saying if this person, God has given you the tools and the resources that you need to make it through. Whether that's spending an extra 15, 20 minutes with him, or even spending time with him, you start spending time with him, do that. If that means you calling someone and forgiving them for how they hurt you, do that. If that means you need to spend some time in the Word, do that. If that means that you need to isolate yourself off of social media and from your families and friends for a second until you get yourself together, do that. Because I don't ever want to hear anybody say, I was just so allergic that I couldn't do it. I just had a bad reaction and I couldn't do it. But you know that God turns everything old new and everything bad good, right? So when you're willing to turn your old into the new, call him. When you're willing to turn your bad into the good, call him. And he's going to be right there. And he may not come when you want him, okay? But he is going to be there right on time. And y'all know that. Y'all know the vibes. But this week, just go forth and do what you are called to do. Surrender to what he needs you to surrender to. And most importantly, surrender to him. Surrender to him and let him know that, God, I'm with you. God, I'm serious about this thing. I'm going to stop acting allergic. I'm going to stop going to the pharmacy and getting my medicine, because you've already cured me of everything that I need to get through, to make it through to the next phase, right? I have already made it through to the next, okay? I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast. I pray that you guys were able to get something out of it, even with all my technical difficulties this week. It's fine. We're here, right? The devil ain't finna stop no show, okay? Period. Next week we will be having a special guest that will be coming to talk to us about mental health and athletes and how that affects them following their purpose. So until next week, I will see you guys again for another episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast. And also, don't forget to make sure that you guys are following us on Instagram at You're Not Done Yet Pod, and me, your host, at It's Andrea B. And until next time, your purpose is calling, and I need you to answer. Peace.